mucking around with it to make sure it's right. So if you're new here, welcome. My name's Tracy. I am an Independent Stampin' Up Demonstrator in Central Victoria, Australia. And today is Tracy's Sunday Challenge. So each Sunday I do a new challenge for the week and everyone is welcome to join in. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of different ideas that you can create with, which is always a lot of fun. Hi Rachel, how are you? So I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes. I just want to try and get this up onto my other computer so I can see the live chat. As you're popping on, please pop on and say hello. Let me know where you're watching from if you're new. And that's always fun. Hopefully you're having a really great week and a weekend. I'm sad to say our weekend's almost over, but which is really sad, but it's been a busy weekend. Okay, so I'm up. Has anyone got any good plans on for the weekend, the rest of the weekend? Whether you're watching, maybe if you're overseas, you're still in Saturday, but Sunday morning here. All right. Okay, I think we're right to get going. So this week's challenge is a really great one. We are doing 1-layer cards, which for a lot of people that's a really hard thing to do if you're a more avid stamper. Hi Jeanette, how are you? And I will say, even though I think my style's pretty simple, 1-layer cards was a real hard one for me. Yeah, Rachel, I knew you. I knew you might have trouble with this one. You are definitely an avid stamper. All right, and I think everyone is. Everyone that follows along is an avid stamper. You're all very good stampers. So this one might be a really big challenge. So I've created a few different samples and we're going to do a different card this morning. But before I get into that, I just want to quickly show you some of the products that I'm using or I've used on my majority of my cards. So they're in the mini catalogue, and on page 9 in the gingerbread and peppermint suite there are these little masks here. They're called Adorning Designs Decorative Masks. These are really great and really easy to use. You can use them in a multiple ways, very creative ways, which is really good, and I'll be showing you in my samples. The other thing that I have here is the suite that we're using on today's card. I have gone with the Sweet Stockings, which is on page 30. This is a real animal lovers beautiful Christmas set, so that's the stamp set that we'll be using in today's card. Okay, so let me bring in the cards. Actually, let me show you the masks because they really are really beautiful. So there is 4 masks in this set. Very cheap as well. Let me just quickly tell you the price here in Australia. They are $14. So $14 for 4 masks, and they're reusable. If you're using embossing paste, just make sure you clean it straight away because it does go hard on it and you'll ruin them. So there's one there. We have a really cute candy cane stripe. Yeah, Rachel says she has these masks too and they're easy to use. And the great thing is there's new masks coming up in the new catalogue as well, which is awesome. This one here, and I used my glittery embossing paste on this. And I washed it straight away, but not all the glitter came up, so you can see that. But it doesn't affect it at all. This is a really cute design. It's like an icing for your sugar cookies or gingerbread house, you know, for the top of the roof. I think that's a really great one. And a snowflake one, which is absolutely gorgeous as well. So these are all 4 come together in the kit, in the set. And absolutely beautiful. So that's what we've used today on all the cards, and we're using them again on the card that we're creating today. So I can move these out of the way. Highly recommend grabbing these, and there are also some in the annual catalogue as well, and the new occasions catalogue that's coming out, we have more as well. So I think these are going to be a regular in the catalogues. So let me bring in some of the cards I've done a couple of samples for each like stamp set that I've used. This one I've actually done all these same day, and I've cut them off to the side. So I've put my mask off to the side like that, and then used my ink blenders for that. So I've sort of gone over it once with the stencil, and then come back over it again just to add a little bit of colour to the background. So for my little penguin here, what I did is I stamped him and then stamped him onto a post-it note, cut the post-it note out and popped it down, placed the mask over the top, and we done our masking. This is a really great technique for one layer cards because you're not going to wreck your image, and yeah, it's just a fun technique to use. So that's the first one. I have another penguin one using, so this one was Night of Navy, and this one here is Coastal Cabana, which is a bit more of a greeny blue. And I put little reindeer ears on him, which is cute. That's part of the stamp set. So that's really cute. So two easy cards there. Then I decided I did one with Santa Claus, and I will tell you, this is actually not one layer. I'm not going to lie to you. Hi Marion, how are you? This one here I actually cut out and piped down because I want to use the stamping blends. And as we know, stamping blends go through, and I really didn't want, as you can see, I started and I went, oh, I don't like that. So I did cut him out and placed him down. It does look like a one layer, but it's not really. But that's another option as well. But if you're colouring in with just your ink, whether it be with a blender pen, you could be really careful with the water painters. That would work as well. But stamping blends, because they leak through to the other side, not really great for this technique. But as I said, you can cut them out and place them down as well. Alright, so I've got two really special cards, which I've used the Sweets and Treats stamp set from the Occasions catalogue. So this one here, I coloured the glittery embossing powder, the glittery embossing paste with soft succulent. So as you can see, it's beautiful. This does take a little time to dry, so when you're doing this, be really careful that you leave it for a while before you start playing around with it again. Once again, because I did colour these with the stamping blends, this has been placed over the top. Underneath I have stamped it and masked off before embossing with the paste. But I really wanted that nice bright colour of the plum pudding there. So that's a really cute card using the coloured embossing paste. So when you have your embossing paste, you just add a few drops of the re-inker to it, mix it around. Absolutely beautiful. And I also have one more using, because I had a little bit left over with the embossing paste. So I brought a soft succulent card base in and did the same thing. But this time, I thought instead of doing another plum pudding, I stamped it, I masked it, put the embossing paste over the top, let it dry, took the mask off, and then what I've done is I've actually used our watercolour pencils and coloured in. So this is straight onto the soft succulent cardstock, so it's a little bit different. I think it looks really good, something a little bit different. But that is a true one layer card. And I've got one last one to show you. This is using the Sweet Little Stockings bundle that we have, that we're using today. This is Magenta Madness. So I've just stamped these images, stamped a mask with post-it notes, placed them down, and then I've run the mask over the top. I've hit it with the Versamark ink and then silver embossing powder. So I think that came up really quite well. It did, a little bit of the powder went underneath the mask. So as you can see, it's sort of, we've got a little bit of, you might not be able to see that too well, but there's a little bit of extra powder there, which I don't think it really matters too much, but that is a nice flat single layer card that's got a little bit of shine and shimmer as well. Okay, so these are the samples that I have. Let's bring in the card that we're going to create with today. And I'm using some layering circle dies for our masking today. And so I'm starting off with a piece of thick basic white cardstock. So I have a full piece of A4. I'm actually going to cut that down in half. Rachel said that's a great idea for the stripes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you could do the stripes, the candy cane stripes, with the embossing paste as well, or stamping in Versamark and Real Red and maybe hitting it with the clear embossing powder as well. That would look really good. Okay, so I'm just going to cut my card base really quickly. So hopefully I've given you a few ideas already for your challenge card. So we have our card base. I have scored it in the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Sweet Little Stockings stamp set, and I've already mounted my stamps. So I've got Santa Paws is coming to town with the little puppy on top, and I've mounted him so he's just sort of sitting over the end of Santa Paws. So really cute. So I have taken my layering circle dies, and this is the second largest, and all I've used is just some, this is reused copy paper or computer paper, and I've cut out the second largest circle die there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some repositional tape. This is actually contraband. I've had it for many, many years. I wish Stampin' Up would bring out some repositional tape. I'm just going to add some of that down. This is probably the only contraband you'll ever see me use. I'm going to place that down there just like that. So we're going to stamp our image once we've lifted everything off this one here, but I'll do that after we've done our background. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use this mask here. I want to know exactly where the top of my card is, and I just want a section about this way, so a little bit under the circle and a fair bit over, just for something a little bit different. I'm also going to bring in my mat, and to position this down I'm actually going to use some washi tape. So I've got some old washi tape which I always have sitting on my desk. It's really great stuff to hold things down and use. And I sometimes put them on the back of envelopes as well. So I'm going to use this mask to be held down. And because at the top here, I can actually put a bit across there as well. Because it's going down on my card, I'm just going to pop it down on my hands first. Get rid of some of that sticky. I don't want it to peel up off my card base. Just place that along the top. And then for this bottom bit, because I don't want it to go all the way to the end. Whoops. I'm actually just going to bring in a scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to mask off a little bit of that as well. That way there's no way that I can go a little bit further than I want. So I think that's going to be held down enough for me. What we're going to do is we're going to be heat embossing with silver embossing paste. And I'm also using clear today, so I'm using 2 different embossing powders. So I've got my silver out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up that whole area of the card base with my Versamark ink. And you want to do just little squishes down on it, making sure that you don't go above that tape there, but you are getting the top of the mask. Okay, I think I have that perfect now. I'm going to take this off really carefully. Yep, I can see that there. So now we can just add our silver. And you see where the tape, I don't know how well you can see that, see where the tape, the washi tape was sitting? That has left a little bit of powder there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush that off. Just because there's a little bit of adhesive still there. Perfect. Right. I haven't got my heat tool hooked up, so let me quickly do that. I need more plug-in points. There's not enough room. So I'm just heating this up, and then I'll heat it until all those powders melt and become nice and bright and shiny. So Stampin' Up have quite a few different embossing powders. They've got a metallic section as well as an essentials or basics pack, whereas they used to sell them all individually. Now they come in packs, so that's really great for beginners. Still my very favourite technique. What's everyone up to today? Have you got anything planned, or are you sitting in your craft rooms for the day? Got a little bit of time in the craft room today, and then we have to go into town for our second vaccination, so that'll be done this afternoon. You don't really have to worry about the one in the middle, but that looks good. How good does that look? That looks good already. Okay, while we still have the mask on, I just want to let that dry a little bit. We are going to bring in our blending brushes, and I've got Misty Moonlight ink that we're going to brush on a little bit of colour in the background. So I have powder everywhere. So I'm just going to add a little bit of colour to my brush. Start it off. And then I'm just going to start in the middle and work my way out, adding a little bit of that Misty Moonlight. I must admit, I love blues for Christmas cards. It gives it that wintry feel. Winter and autumn are my favourite seasons, so they make me very happy. So I've got a nice light one. I'm going to come in and just do a little bit more of a darker blue halo around our mask here, that circle. because that's where our sentiment's going to be. We want to make it a real focal point. Yeah, I think that looks really good. So this is a really, really easy card. Okay, so the truth is now going to be lifting that up and making sure that that's all beautiful underneath. Not bad. So that repositional tape has left a little bit of a residue. I'm going to bring in my gummy eraser and just get rid of any of those pieces. Stampin' Up used to sell these. It's another item that they no longer sell, but you can get them at good craft stores and art and craft stores as well. Yeah, that turned out really well. Okay, nice little white ring around. So I'm going to bring in my sentiment now, and I'll be stamping this with 𝒉𝒐𝒔𝒕 ink as well as blue, so the Misty Moonlight ink. Because I want to heat emboss it with clear embossing powder, you can use just our inks, but you've got to be super quick, and I'm not usually that quick and that good at doing that. So what the easy way is to stamp it in 𝒉𝒐𝒔𝒕 ink first. That way you're not putting colour into your 𝒉𝒐𝒔𝒕. This clear sticky ink actually stays on your stamp really well. Okay, so I've got that. I'm now going to pop it into our Misty Moonlight. And I can stamp that in the middle. And because we've got the 𝒉𝒐𝒔𝒕 there, I'm going to pop some clear embossing powder over the top. Just going to close my ink pads really quickly so I don't drop anything into them. I've got my clear powder, and what that'll do is it'll make that ink almost be a embossing powder. So it'll be a coloured emboss. Now because we still have ink around the sides, that's actually stayed there. So let me find my paintbrush. I'm just going to go around there and take that off. We don't need any clear powder there. Okay. So I'm going to bring the heat tool back in and we'll heat that up. Hi Ali, how are you? Hope you've had a really good day. All right, so by using that 𝒉𝒐𝒔𝒕 and the ink colour, what we've effectively been able to do is make any of our colours embossing powders. See how beautiful that is? My lighting's not the very best, but that is so nice and bright and shiny, gorgeous. I have made a mark here with my ink. So quickly before we get going with the rest of it, I'm just going to grab out my sand eraser. Another really great thing to have in your stash, and you can get these from great craft stores. If you do make a mistake like that, you can use it to get rid of some of it. Make it not quite so noticeable. And it is a handmade card, so it doesn't really matter, but it's a bit of a boo-boo there. Alrighty. Hi, Amanda. No, it does not. Putting the 𝒉𝒐𝒏𝒕𝒉 imaged into our ink pads does not wreck it at all. Absolutely not. No. Alrighty. So lastly, because I think that looks really, really cute, I actually rumbled through my drawers to look for some ribbon. And, you know, we don't have any Misty Moonlight ribbon left. We did have some that has retired, which I have grabbed out because I think it just needs that little bit of extra beautifulness. I could have used the white crinkled seam binding ribbon and used my Stamping Blends to add colour to, but you know what? This is the Sunday challenge and I don't think it matters. So I'm actually using retired ribbon. This is the Misty Moonlight in colour ribbon, which just retired from the last catalogue. And I'm going to just tie a nice little bow over the side. So when you're doing these challenges, you don't have to use Stampin' Up. Use what you have in your stash. If it's retired, that's fine too. It really doesn't matter. It's more about just creating, having fun, and using what's in your stash as well. So I've just tied a little bit of a knot there. I'm going to angle cut these ones. Super cute. And that's what we're left with our card. A single layer of beautifulness with lots and lots of shine. It's absolutely gorgeous. So let me show you the cards again that I had as reference to show you, just to give you some ideas. I've used the same, very similar layout, which is great. Now, if you would like to purchase any of the supplies that I've used to create these cards, you can do so in my online store. There is a link in the description of this video if you're in need of that one. Hi Cheryl, how are you? I have a wonderful program this month in November. We have, for anyone who orders through me, you'll get the handmade card for this month. You also receive a bundle tutorial, and anyone that's purchasing over $100 this month using the host code also receives the champagne rhinestone jewels as a free gift as well. We have some really great specials with Stampin' Up at the moment. We have the Start with Savings special that runs all through November. You can purchase the starter kit at an extremely discounted rate of $130. You're still choosing $235 worth of product, which is over $100 free. And there's so many benefits with purchasing the starter kit, starting up with the 20% discount straight away. So if you're after any information, you would like to chat to me about that, I would more than happy to have a chat with you as well. And what's coming up is a seasonal sale, and you're not going to want to miss this one. This one is also another amazing deal. Between the 16th and the 18th of November, you can get 10% off cardstock, 15% off stamp sets, and 20% off dies from the annual catalogue. Now, if you're already a demonstrator, you get your demonstrator discount on top. So you get your 20% on top of all those discounts. So amazing. So if you're not a demonstrator, you can purchase your starter kit with the Start with Savings right now, and you'll get your discount on top of this discount. So if you're interested, let me know. Come and chat with me. I would happily help you out with that. All right, so this was the challenge for this week. Simple one-layer cards. I hope that you'll come and join in with the challenge. It's always lovely to see new faces and see all your designs, and we would love to have you. Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad that you've enjoyed today's video and also enjoyed some of the different projects that I have on the table for you. All right, everyone, I'll see you next Thursday for my live, and hopefully you can come back for that one. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.